Hey guys, today we're taking a look at my Fire Kings deck. Now Fire Kings are a very explosive archetype. They're really crazy. They're based on destroying themselves in order to activate effects and search out and blow up the field, and it just gets really crazy when you start to combine them with a lot of other tech, and just a really fun deck to play in my opinion. So first off, pretty much staples are going to be Garunix, Barong, and Yaksha at 3. Garunix is your boss that will get out very easily just by being destroyed by a card effect. He keeps bringing himself out and he keeps blowing up all the other monsters. So continual chain that your opponent is going to need to stop in order to keep him from coming back, and just really annoying your opponent. Just a really great card. And then Barong, so 1800 attack, really nice for a searcher, and he obviously is a searcher that can also get special summoned very easily. Very important for this deck. And then Yaksha, letting us destroy things very easily, so we can send what we need to the graveyard. Also can be special summoned very quickly. So that's definitely a good thing about Fire Kings, is that they're able to special summon themselves really quickly to swarm if you want to, but they also have their additional effects that make the plays really cool. And then we have 2 of this Earthbound Immortal that I won't try to pronounce. But just the thing about this card is that you'll destroy it in your hand and then it wipes the field. So it's extremely potent with Yaksha. Obviously the issue is that it's a dead draw during the other times when you're not able to use that effect. But because it nukes the field, it's so powerful. It's debatable whether you want to run this or not. I'm currently running it at 2. You can run it at 1, you can run it at 0. I wouldn't run it at 3, but still can be very powerful, and I definitely like having access to it. And then 1 Blaster, again just a really powerful card in this deck, giving us access to destruction effects and 7-star XYZ, so just really nice. And then 1 Bear, because we have Tenki, might as well throw in 1 Bear in order to do more destruction effects, so that can be very nice. And then we have one of the normal Avatar Garunix. This one just can be a nice special summon card. Usually not the focus in this deck because you need a lot of spell and trap support, so I'm running 1 of it. You can run 0 or you can run more if you want, it's up to you. And 1 Cold Soldier Wolfbark, obviously limited now, but still can be really nice for this deck type. So now for the spells. Again, for Fire Kings, a lot of it's staples, so we're going to have 3 Onslaught of the Fire Kings, just really good in this deck, getting out whatever you need, usually Garunix, which is very nice. Circle of the Fire Kings, another amazing card, letting you bypass effects, letting you, activate effects by destroying your cards, just creating a lot of really nice plays on the field. Yeah, so these are usually staples at 3 because of how good they are. And then 3 Tenki, obviously searching out the Beast Warriors, very important for doing what we need to do with this deck. And then 2 MST, 2 Forbidden Lance. Forbidden Lance, what's really nice about this card is that Garunix, the main things that'll run into Garunix that you want to worry about are things like Dimensional Prison, or a monster that'll beat it in battle, because that will kind of go against what you're doing. So Forbidden Lance can kind of cover that pretty well, helping you deal with stuff like Dimensional Prison and giving him a bit of a advantage, over those higher attack monsters. And then 1 Dark Hole. Dark Hole obviously great in most decks, but in this deck with the ability to gain benefits from destruction effects, just that much better. And Rekindling, with the 200 defense monsters, makes a lot of sense to do big plays. And now for the traps, 2 Generation Shift, again, usually a staple in this deck, because you can search out what you need and activate destruction effects, which is very important. And then 2 Fiendish Chain, and mostly staple traps, not too much to say there. So now for the extra deck, I'm going to have a variety of 4-star XYZ. 2 Tiger Kings, because obviously we're running Beast Warriors, and Tiger King's just a really potent card. Diamond Dire Wolf, really powerful in this deck because of destruction effects. Just really nice, supports this deck so well. And then 1 Kagutsuchi, obviously with Beast Warriors, can be a useful card, especially because we can make use of the graveyard pretty nicely. 1 Silent Honor, Lavalval Chain, very nice in this deck because we're doing some graveyard stuff. Steelswarm Roach, obviously can be a very effective with how we're being able to destroy, things that get special summoned. Exciton Knight, again, very powerful in most decks, but in this deck, extremely powerful. Photon, Maestroke, Gagaga Cowboy, and Blackship. And Big Eye and Dracosack, just in case. We can get them out, obviously, with Garunix and Blaster. And obviously their effects are very powerful, and it's definitely nice to have access to them. So now for the side deck. Again, side decks in my videos are kind of just recommended cards that can also work with the main deck. It isn't meant to be a side deck for matches. These are just suggestion cards that could be really good for this deck. It's up to you when you're building the deck that you want to think about these cards. but not a side deck for matches. So Sacred Phoenix is another interesting one that can kind of blow up the field, but it's up to you if you really want to run this. I'm not a huge fan of it. Just it has low attack, and you kind of have to do it in addition to the other things you're doing. But it's up to you. You can run this with like trade-in and stuff like that as well. Goku is another really interesting one that you can special summon really easily and then destroy a fire monster, which works in favor of how you're trying to run this deck. So that's an interesting card. Flameball Fire Dog, another beater that can allow you to swarm things from your deck, which is really nice to get out those Fire King monsters. Fencing Fire Fear, another card that kind of just is an interesting choice that I've seen some people run that can just work with the deck. It's just a weird card. It's up to you if you want to run something like this. You could run more of the Fire Fist if you want, like a real to blow up back row could be good. Fire King Karen, I'm just not a big fan of this card, but another one you can run. If you want, you could run this deck with Yubel. It's probably one of the best builds that can support Yubel, just because Fire Kings do all that destruction, so it's up to you. My Yubel deck uses Fire Kings, so that's definitely a choice. Effect Veiler is another choice, gives you access to Synchros if you want, and then if you do that, you could run like Scrap Dragon, other 8-stars, and things like that. If you're running the 3-star ones, you can run stuff like Zen Mains. If you're running the 8-star Synchros, or the Phoenix, you can run 8-star XYZs if you want. You can run more Fire Formation cards like Tensu. Skill Drain works perfectly in this deck because your effects don't really activate on the field. Trap Stun, another way to get through back row with your powerful monsters. And Call the Haunted, really, really good in this deck, obviously, because if they destroy Call the Haunted, they activate the Fire King effects. So that's definitely a great choice for this deck. So that's my Fire King deck. Again, very, very fun to play. Very crazy. Just really blows up the field and is really unexpected for your opponent that you can do that and then come back from it because you're taking advantage over what you're doing. So really, really cool, and definitely a very strong and competitive type of deck. But if you guys have your own Fire Kings deck, you can post below, let me know in the comments. You can make suggestions for me, talk about cards that could be good for this deck. Maybe there's some cards I didn't think about, so that could be really cool if you give me some suggestions. But as always, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.